What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my sacred space. My name is Lauren Victoria. I'm a mental health therapist and intuitive energy worker. In this video, I want to just talk about what the spring equinox is and how we can kind of tap into that energy even in our everyday lives. Seasons change, so do we, right? And when we are in alignment with the seasons, it's typically easier to make things happen because we're working with energy and not against it. So in this video, I'm going to talk about, how we can use the spring energy to really bring fresh starts into our own lives. So the spring equinox means that the first day of spring is occurring. The nights have been longer because we've been in the winter, right? And on the equinox, the days are finally balanced right before we start to shift into longer days that come in the spring. Astrologically, the spring equinox is considered the new year because we are finally coming into a time of birth. The grasses, the land is being watered so that things can shoot up and grow. Energetically, spring is definitely a time for abundance, a time for joy, and new, fresh beginnings. This is why we do spring cleaning. But really, when we think about aligning with the energy of spring, cleaning is just the tip of the iceberg, right? And what would happen if we bring some more intentionality about working in congruence with the forces of nature right now? Many of you guys know I'm a mental health therapist, I'm a spiritual life coach, and I talk with a lot of clients about actually paying attention to the seasons as they change, especially as women, because we are naturally more aligned with nature. Our menstrual cycle directly related to the moon cycle, and many of us are expecting our bodies, our minds to function the same every single day, when the truth is that nothing in nature blooms 365 days a year. But we will put the same high expectations and standards on ourselves with absolutely no room for failure. And it's unrealistic. It is unfair because we ourselves are nature. And when you learn to work with that change, to flow within those cycles, your life becomes easier and not harder. And I can acknowledge that it is difficult to recognize. We rarely get the breaks that we need, but that's because we've built a society that is almost completely detached from nature. We've genetically modified food to grow whenever we want, so we can eat strawberries all year long. You're expected to work full time for 50 weeks with maybe 2 weeks of vacation. And for many of us, it can just feel like we're doing the same thing every day, going through the notions with no real sense of change. So this is why it's so helpful to be attuned with nature and to recognize when and where things are happening so that you're moving in congruence. And so if that is the first way you can prepare for spring and just get in alignment with that energy. Cleaning. I know, I just said it's basic, but it really does work. That's why so many of us do it. And when it comes to actually cleaning spaces, this is a great time to be thorough. You know that one corner like behind the refrigerator that you don't really clean because you can't really see it? No, baby. This is time to get behind there. It's a hands and knees type of clean. Just because, again, we are energetically making space for the new. And for many of us, those corners where we just push things off and we say, oh, out of sight, out of mind, is a reflection of things perhaps that we've been feeling, we've been knowing that we're just pushing aside, trying to numb out and avoid. But no, this is a great time to face those things. Get into the corners of your basement, get into the corners of your mind, and make sure that you're happy with the way that things look. So go ahead, declutter, donate, organize, scrub, mop, sweep. And if you want to step up your cleaning, check out my video I made last year about how I was spring cleaning with magical herbs that really amplified the intentions of spring as well. So another way that we can align with spring energy is just to get creative. Like, use your imagination, and that looks like a lot of different things for many people, but I would start with, thinking about your inner child. So when you were a little girl or a little boy and you like to have fun, what were you doing? Like, were you playing with crayons? Were you running outside, playing on the jungle gym? How can you bring that same type of joy, that same type of carefree innocence into your present day? Many of us adults are tired, baby. To put it straight, like, we're just tired. We are a bit more cynical. Our knees hurt. But that doesn't mean that we can't still play. Like, we can't still have that energy. And what's the irony, right? We have the sun, the tarot card, which really represents the optimism of spring, the new beginnings, the blossoming energy that we can all embody. That transition from Pisces to Aries is, I think, a beautiful place that we can meet again our imagination and the fire, the inspiration to actually get things going. So the next thing we can do in alignment of the energy of spring is to fast, right? Or detox, whatever you want to call it. Assuming we were introduced to fasting at some point in our childhood in church, where we learned, Jesus fasted, the disciples fasted, and it was a great way to connect with God. That is still true, right? Regardless of what religion or faith you believe in, it can be really empowering and really put you in touch with your higher self when you are able to turn away from your vices and say, I'm bigger than this, to practice restraint, to practice discipline. Not so much though about dieting, right? This is a matter of lifestyle changes that you could incrementally make. The spring equinox is one day, but spring itself is a long season, right? So if you're somebody who eats Popeyes every night, you don't want to say, well, I'm going to go vegetarian cold turkey. I mean, maybe you could do it. I couldn't. What I could do more realistically is maybe implement one day per week where I don't eat meat, or one meal a day where I don't eat meat. Not that there's anything wrong with meat eaters, y'all, just giving examples. But yeah, that's a great way to get in alignment with the energy, especially if you're gonna consider nutrition, right? The food. Another great thing to do is plant something. Go buy some seeds, get some soil, and actually plant something. Like, it takes skill to bring something to life. It takes work, it takes constant attention. And when you recognize that in bringing a seed to harvest, you can apply those same things to your life. How often are you watering yourself? How often are you tilling your soils? How often are you fertilizing yourself so that you can grow? Creating your own garden can be a beautiful reminder of that energy, because it blossoms across the entire season. It doesn't happen in one day. It is a process that teaches you to be patient. It is a process of balance. And finally, one of my favorite new things to do for the spring is to get some type of intuitive reading and cleaning. That can look like a Reiki session where somebody literally is cleansing your energetic body. It could look like getting a limpia. It could look like getting a tarot reading, or even pulling one for yourself. And the reason I love intuitive readings is because they go a little bit deeper than what your conscious mind is aware of. So even when I talk about fasting, or talk about cleaning and being aware of what you can let go of, many of us will still have, our own biases and blind spots in terms of what we are holding on to, but don't really want to acknowledge that we're holding on to. So with that, I want to tap into a little bit of divine abundance before I leave this video. Let's just tap into what divine abundance awaits us this spring. LOL, y'all. We have energetic clearing. Energetic clearing, right in alignment with this spring. So I'll read the affirmation. During crises, the Holy One herself may be emptying you of fear and attachments, preparing you to receive her luminous plan. I I talked to a lot of my clients this week about this. When you're trying to elevate your life to a new, vibration, you're trying to become your best self, hanging on to those old things that pull you back down here is going to keep you from actually reaching that goal. So even though it may be uncomfortable, even though it may be scary, know that on the other side of that is harmony. There's peace, joy, and abundance, just like we learned in the spring. So again, my name is Lauren Victoria. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will be dropping a spring equinox meditation soon, so you can also use that to get in alignment. Visit me at thehighestpriestess.com for life coaching, energy readings, and more. I'll see you in the next video. Happy spring.